Hey guys, so it's 11:11 on my birthday. I've just been trying to write a rant for the past 2 hours or so on Facebook about where my headspace is at, and then I just deleted it because I'm like, it doesn't matter, I'm not communicating myself well, and who really cares? Um, it's just been one of those birthdays where I'm sure I've talked about this before, but birthdays are a weird thing, Like, all that's really happened is you've gone around the sun one time and we celebrate that. I guess celebrations are part of how humans come together. Social stuff is important for evolution. For our evolution. Sorry if I'm not speaking clearly. I guess I'm a bit tired. It's later than I meant it to be. Anyway, no, birthdays are a weird thing, but because I've had so much depression in my life, I think sometimes it's a bit hard for me to really get on board. Um, but also, like, just as a kid, people are like, oh, it's your birthday, how exciting. And you're supposed to make a big deal of it, and it's supposed to be kind of special in a way, and all that. But I figured out pretty early that it wasn't anything particularly special, really, because you still had to go to school, and bad things could still happen. Like, just because it's your birthday doesn't mean the world's suddenly great. Um, is the lighting a little bit weird today? I feel like it's doing that ghosting thing and I don't know how to control it. That's annoying. Anyway, I wonder if I turn the light up some more. Whoa, too much and yeah, anyway. Um yeah, no. And then as I got older, like people give you gifts, but people don't understand me, so I would get gifts that I wasn't so into, and that leads to disappointment. And so at some point, I figured out that I had to be more specific and like tell people I want this specific thing so that I wouldn't experience that horrible disappointment of like, this is meant to be your special day, but here's a thing that you don't actually like. Um, but then when I became depressed, that's when I sort of lost the whole idea of wanting things anyway. It was just like, I've got stuff, doesn't make me happy. Um, yeah, and just feeling sort of numb and sort of wondering, like, who am I anyway? Like, what things does a person like me care about? Um, makes the whole birthday thing seem kind of odd, like, oh, celebrating that you're still alive when you might not really want to be, kind of thing. So I've had a lot of that kind of complicated emotions around my birthday and the existential, like, why am I here? Plus, with me being more of a mathematically minded person, I mean, this is when I was really badly depressed. I would think, like, if I was going to end it, why not do it on my birthday? Because then at least my life would be like a perfect integer in terms of years instead of being like, 20 years in a day, you'd be exactly 20 years, which is kind of a weird thing to think about in hindsight, but that's the kind of messed up space that I was in at the time. Um, and these days, I'm not that obsessive in that way, at least. I'm sure I'm obsessive about plenty of things. Let me just check the audio because it's 3 minutes. Yes, and it's still working. Good. Oh, I just put that on the wrong way around, but whatever. Um, yeah, no, birthdays, complicated thing. But the last couple years, I actually had good birthdays. And it seems like from Facebook memories that most of my birthdays have actually been better than what they were when I was like in school. So I guess for my adult life, birthdays have been fine. But yeah, I still have that lingering sort of, oh no, my birthday's coming up, and there's so much pressure people put on you to have a good day, like, when I almost turned off the Facebook birthday thing for today because it tells people that it's your birthday, people you haven't heard from in ages, but Facebook brings up the little birthday thing and all kinds of people turn up, and some of them you're like, I didn't even know you were still paying attention to me. And then there are the people who don't bother, but I think some of those people realize that it's a complicated thing for me in my head. um but yeah, no, there's a lot of people are like, "Oh, have a great day" and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, have a great day. How am I supposed to have a great day? Usually, my birthday, I would go and perform. Performing is one of the few things I genuinely enjoy. I also like wild ropes, those ropes courses. But yeah, no, performing because like I guess the adrenaline and it's just fun, and because I'm not a very active person, when I get on stage, I just sort of go all out, and that's like being active in a way that's not horrible like how exercise is. Like exercise is boring and repetitive and sweaty, whereas when you're on stage, Yeah, it's sweaty, but at least you're having fun and all that kind of stuff. And I can't do that because of COVID. There are a few venues in Sydney that are open, but kind of like with specific circumstances, and everyone's sitting down, and it's just a. I I haven't been to one, but it's not really the vibe I feel like. And then with um, COVID cases circulating around the community, I'm still kind of paranoid about mingling. Um, yeah, so I don't really know what to think um, about like no, I'm getting confused. I'm talking about performance, I'm talking about birthdays. Yeah, no, what was I supposed to do with my birthday to make it a good day? I kind of just had a lazy day. Um, just did my cleaning, so like my floor is nice and vacuumed for what you can see of it. My bathroom is clean. I've had a shower. Hope's been brushed wherever he's gone to, and I folded my clothes and they're all nicely stacked in my drawer. And that's my weekly Sunday thing. I spent some time reading about female autism, which probably didn't help to be honest, but yeah, I'm 50-50 on that because some things fit and some things really don't, and I feel like the things that don't fit are kind of more important than the things that do fit. But hey, I'm not an expert. What do I know? Um, yeah, and then what my wise godmother visited, and we were talking about what do I want for my birthday, and there's some interesting ideas in that, but maybe I'll talk about that either another time or later in this video if I go on that rant. And then yeah, I watched Buffy. I didn't get to watch it yesterday because that video yesterday, the final Final Fantasy failure, um, yeah, the bloody menu music got copyrighted, so I had to go in and mangle that. I should have just turned off the whole screen, but it took a while. Thank you to Paper Vampire for figuring out how I could mangle that in an amusing way as well. Because I was trying to erase it using nerdery, but yeah, no, speeding it up and throwing in a few other different things did the trick, because now it's not the same music, is it? It's some horrible noise. But yeah, no. So I watched Buffy, and yeah, interesting episode. I think we're starting to get closer to the angel stuff. But well, lunch. I think I just had leftovers. Dinner, Mum made carbonara, and it was nice. Um, that's my birthday. Nothing really special. Um, but yeah, no, with this like existential stuff, right? This is the first birthday in a while where I've felt that sort of existential dread kind of thing that I did when I was younger. I mean, the last couple of years, as I said, fine. Facebook Memories seems to think that most of my birthdays have been fine as an adult. But yeah, the past few days, I mean, I mentioned in other videos, and I'm like, guys, don't think I'm getting depressed or anything. And I'm not getting depressed, but yeah, it's not been one of those better ones. And people are like, have a good day and all that. And I'm just like, how? Especially with COVID getting in the way of the things that I usually do. Like, one of the cool things about gigging is I can say, this is my party, and then I don't have to have a party. um, yeah. And then, yeah, no, there's not really anywhere to go. Um, it's a weird year, but I think what's really getting me down is the music stuff. Like in that, if you could understand anything in that video where the sound went to shit, um yeah, I was saying in that like some music stuff, but I don't even remember exactly what I said. Just I think all the disappointments with music have been getting me down. um and like that, this is part of what I was trying to write about tonight, and I don't want to get too repetitive with whatever I said a few days ago that I can't even remember. But I just, the point being, I think the disappointments and setbacks I've had in music and ongoing issues with that, um, and you know, there's something I found out today that also feels like a setback in music for me, or potentially one, probably one based on, you know, past patterns. Um, and every time I have some kind of setback in music, that seems to be when I feel the worst. Like, yes, with Hope, Hope had a really serious condition, and I was really upset the day we had to get the blood transfusion. But it was a sadness that felt different to depression. It was a sadness that I felt like I could get through. It was very good, like, would be very difficult, especially if I was going to lose him, which I genuinely thought was going to happen. But I felt like I could probably get through it. But at the same time, around that same time, um, did I mention I joined a band earlier in the year before lockdown, and then later had to leave? Like I realized around the same time Hope was getting his blood transfusion, I realized I had to leave the band because of some, like non-negotiable creative issues. Um, and that I think is when I actually felt something more like depression, like a sort of sense of despair, as opposed to the normal sadness I was experiencing about Hope's condition. Um, and like it's a complicated thing, but I think the despair bit is because my entire focus, like my whole what's my goal in life, is just music. And I was like, here's another piece of that goal that's just disappeared. Um, Whereas Hope is not really a goal, he's a part of my life. But when I get depressed, I think it's to do with goals and direction. And my dog is not about direction, that's about my family. I don't know how to explain the distinction, but I think because I'm just such an aimless person, like it's sad to lose a family member. And that actually did mess me up with, when my grandparents died, and that was around the same time we were doing the Rainbow Death Ray EP, and I was working almost a full-time job, and it was just too much, and I collapsed. Um, and had a whole lot of existential, like, why am I working so hard kinds of things going on. But no, I think because I had that existential, like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I going with this? That's like purpose and so on. When I don't have purpose, I get really fucked up because why am I struggling through life? Um, so maybe that wasn't so much to do with family. I don't know. Like, it's hard to figure all this stuff out. And I never really found therapy that useful because they have a particular way that they're trying to go with it that isn't quite how my brain thinks. Anyway, I suspect that the reason music hurts me more in that depression way rather than hurting me in the sadness way is because of the purpose thing. And if I don't have purpose, fuck, what am I doing, Does that make sense? I mean, some of you would argue, yeah, but isn't looking after your dog a sort of a purpose? And I'm like, I guess, but it's different somehow. And I don't know how to explain that difference at the moment. It's just like a sense, I guess. Um, Yeah, and of course, like being a dog, they have short lifespans anyway, so maybe it's the fact that I've already prepared for that eventuality that means that that doesn't hurt as much, like in a depression way. It hurts in the sadness way. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's that I know that's going to end, whereas with the music, I'm all full of hopes and dreams, and then they're all crushed because of complications that keep happening, whether that's musical differences or disappointments because I thought something was going to happen that didn't. Um, Trying to find a band and just not being able to find it, and trying to find people to work with, and either they're the wrong style, or they're not reliable, or they're just not good at anything, or a combination of everything. um yeah, and I've been thinking about the whole music thing because it is fucking me up. And like, if that is the thing that's fucking me up, maybe I need to do something about that. And I've just mangled this cord because I've been, oh god, what did I do there? um yeah, no, it's like if that's the thing that's upsetting me, maybe I need to rethink how invested I am in trying to find a band. Like maybe I just need to step back for a bit. Because the thing is, with COVID, right, we don't know how long this is going to last. So even if I joined a band today, when are we going to perform? And performing's the best bit, for me at least. Um, I mean, as I mentioned in the other video that you probably can't even understand through all the distortion, um, part of being in a band that is also helpful to me is the social side, because I get out of the house, which I need a reason to do. I'm with people, and I'm, weekly rehearsals, turning up to perform, being in the gig space. And like, even if I'm not performing at a gig, when I'm in a band, I'm much more likely to go to gigs, and just be immersed in that whole thing. Um, yeah, it's good for me on that side of things, like talking to my doctor about goals and stuff like that. Being in a band ties in with a lot of that stuff quite nicely if I can find one, but I can't. Um, yeah, no. Where was I going with that? I don't know. I don't know. It just, yeah. Something, something, something. I mean, in theory, it's supposed to be helpful to where I'm going. Oh, to have a goal like that. hang on a second. Yeah, we're still sounding good. Um, I think that's been part of the whole, like, yeah, I want to be in a band because if I'm being social, like, I don't just hang out. I need something to do, whether we're seeing a movie or going to an exhibition or in a band making music. And bands are a bit more regular. So maybe get me into the habit of going out. But, oh, that's right. Yeah, with COVID, like, the best part performing can't do that, and like depending on how things go, maybe rehearsal spaces get shut down for a while, like there's so many issues, and then do I really want to be going out to rehearse where you don't know where the virus is? Like in Sydney it's been a bit iffy for the past little while. There's just a lot of things to think about, and when are things going to get back to normal? When are normal gigs going to happen? I don't know. So is it really worth stressing about not being in a band? Taking a while to get to the point. It's just I should plan my videos, but no. Um, yeah, I guess I'm just at that point where look, where I am in music right now, I'm not really happy with because I'm not really going anywhere. I would like to be in a band, but I can't find one. But even if I find a band, we can't perform, and yeah, it's just like how how much is this worth stressing about? I need to sort of reconfigure my life because if I worry like, okay, I have this goal and you need goals to be obtainable. I'm sure I'm repeating stuff I said in other videos, but for a goal to be a good goal, it needs to be doable and a certain level of challenge that's not too much that you feel disheartened, but not too easy. And if if the whole band thing, I mean, one, I can't find a band, so that's unobtainable, it would seem, or very difficult to find. And two, even when I find it, the best bit's not available to me. Like, the effort versus reward. I'm sort of just like thinking about that, and it's when I have setbacks in music, that's when I feel shit. Like that band that I joined and had to leave felt shit. And then, like with AD Destroyer, right? I actually finished recording the vocals for that in 2017. So I haven't really done much for it since then. And there were periods like there's just been so many setbacks. Like I had my setbacks, he had his setbacks. It's just like there's just been so much that's interrupted it. And at some like there's been so many points where I thought maybe this project is just dead now. And then it would sort of come back to life, but then sort of die again. And it's just been this emotional, like maybe it will, maybe it won't, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Um, and every time it's felt like it was dead was just a horrible feeling because I put so much hope into that, thinking, oh, this project, like it's such a, I really love the music. And I'm like, oh my God, how cool is this project? Only to have it seemingly crash and burn. I'm like, damn. And then it comes back to life and hopes are up again. Because I'm like, if I could, I would make that my main project. But yeah, there's just this roller coaster that I can't. Yeah, and even though we've released now, I don't know what we're gonna do next because like, the same kinds of setbacks are still present. Um, and like it's hard to like we can't gig, which was one of the things that we wanted to do. And then what I guess photos and videos, but like there's so much work, and is it worth it? We didn't promote this thing properly, and then like what do I do with my hair? um yeah, no, it's just like there's so much to organize, and I just worry like I don't think AD Destroyer is really going to move that much. There's just so much to think about and so many problems, and COVID and whatever. So I'm sort of like at that point where I'm just like, maybe, maybe I either step back from music for a while and just focus on something else, try and reassess, reorganize my brain, um, just figure out my priorities if I can. I mean, it's risky because music is the only thing that I really have had to cling on to. Like, if I'm not clinging on to music, what else is there? Um, and then I worry I get into that existential, like, why am I here kind of thing. But if music isn't a real thing that I'm clinging to, then I'm going to end up there anyway. Or alternatively, I go solo, like I actually take the solo thing seriously, work out what my obstacles are to doing that, like not having my music computer open or whatever. Maybe I work through that and figure out how I can get on top of things. And so now that we've reached 20 minutes and I've probably bored away most of the people, let's talk about some ideas. Now, keep in mind, this is an idea that's happened today. Part of it is frustration with other things going on in my music life. Part of it is just like novelty. So this may be a very short-lived idea. Um, but okay, so with like AD Destroyer, I've been thinking about like, what's our band image? Because we haven't done any photos together and it's more of that post-apocalyptic thing. And then that sort of like, regardless of that project, led me into a tangent of what do I do about my hair? And some of you may remember that I used to color it a lot and I used to get little dreadies. And there was one point where I had tubular crin, which is what they use to make cyberlocks in there and all this kind of stuff. And I miss it. I miss having interesting hair. This brown stuff that I grew out while I was depressed is so boring and it's like, old me and yeah. Um, the thing is, like with COVID, right? There's nowhere to go. Maybe I can get band photos done or whatever, but then what? Like, I just have awesome hair to go up to the shops occasionally or walk the dog. It's not really worth doing, especially because sometimes those hairstyles cost a lot of money. And for the dreads that I want, I have to send off to the UK, which is the UK exchange rates and postage. Um, I mean, there's some places that on eBay that seem to sell it um, from Australia, but they've inflated the prices so much, and I might as well just get all this stuff from this one place that has everything. Okay, so that's some background thinking about my hair, right? And then talking to my godmother today, like 2 years ago for my birthday, for my 30th, she was like, "Oh, how about my present to you can be doing your hair and whatever, like whatever you really want to get." But I couldn't think of anything at the time, and I didn't have any music stuff that made me feel motivated. I was just like, no, I really want to find a band. And when I find a band, I'll ask them what to do with my hair so that I, keep it long so that you can do whatever you want with it. Like if you need to go short, fine. But if you need it long, you don't have to grow it out. It's already there. Flexible. So the band I joined earlier in the year was more black metal oriented. Could do that. Or if it's like industrial metal, then I go different direction. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I didn't do it then, because I still thought, I'm this close to finding a band, which never happened. So I was just constantly waiting, like I need to keep my hair for that band. But it's not like I kind of lost hope. I'm kind of abandoning the whole band idea at this point, to be honest. I'll keep my ads up like on Gumtree, but only as a just in case. I think I just need to move on. Um, yeah, so this year when my wise godmother came to visit for afternoon tea, we were talking about that again, and I couldn't. She's like, "So what do you want? Do you want UGG boots?" And I'm like, "No, I fixed the hole in my toe. You want this and that," and not really thinking. But I'd been looking at that shop with the dreads for a while, and they actually sell pre-made cyberlocks. And something I've been thinking is if I can't, like, I don't want to do my hair with all these bits and pieces just for like one photo shoot and that's it. Like if I'm gonna go to that effort, I want to make sure that, hang on, let me just check. If I'm gonna go to that effort, I want to make sure that it's worth it. Like when we have gigs again and I'm going out every second day or whatever, people can actually see it. Um, so maybe as an alternative though. Oh, and the other thing is I'm auditioning for Hello Scream on the off chance that it goes ahead this year, and I may need the natural hair look again. Like I didn't wear a wig last year. I just had, creepy. I mean, maybe I could dye my hair black and that would still fit in, but yeah, no, I feel like I need natural hair for that. I don't want to put heaps of stuff in my hair, only have to take it out for that performance. So, you know, the place that sells the dreads I like, they also do cyberlocks. Like they pre-make them, they can customize them. And I'm thinking like maybe that's an alternative. Like, you just do your hair in pigtails and then you put the cyberlocks around it and it makes your hair suddenly look awesome when underneath maybe it's not that exciting. They tend to have a fringe, which I don't really like a fringe, but maybe I can do things my own way. But I was actually thinking cyberlocks. Hey. And so when my godmother was, just talking, I pulled it up on my phone and I'm like, here's a thing I've been looking at. And to my surprise, she was like, yeah, we could do that. So maybe I'll do cyberlocks. The thing is, though, these cyberlocks, they're mostly tubies and foamies, and I'm not really a cyber goth. I mean, I could go cyber goth, I suppose, just, but I'm not really. I'm more into the metal kinds of stuff, and I really do like the synth dreads. So, um, if I do go for this Cyberlux thing, it's called Cyberlux Shop UK. If any of you guys want to look it up and maybe give me some ideas. Um, but I need to choose color. I was thinking black and red, but I guess it depends how much I want to do with my hair. If I do my hair black instead of brown, or if I want to not put red in just in case Halloween Scream happens, um, maybe I should do it black, and then maybe I just want black as my Cyberlux color. I don't know. There's a lot to think about. Um, and then the other thing is they do custom things. They customize things, and I'm sort of thinking maybe I should write to them and be like, hey, so I'm interested in this idea, but I'm also more of a metal kid, and here's some hairstyles I did in the past. Is there a way to either have them customize it or me alter it, or maybe they can send me a tutorial, maybe they can send me the bits in a tutorial and I can make something I want. Maybe I need to talk to them about some ideas of like how I could do Cyberlocks, Cyberfalls type thing, but with less cyber in it, or I don't know. These are some ideas. Um, Alternatively, I just buy one of the things, go full cybergoth for a while. I mean, I'm sitting in my room, but I just dress up every now and then, maybe for YouTube. Maybe I just dress up for you guys, but without having to have permanent stuff in my hair. Um, and then, if I go one of these ways, right, then suddenly I have this amazing hairstyle, and maybe I just refocus on my solo music. Like, I mean, that whole cyber style, and I was already in a sort of weird electronic industrial space with my solo stuff anyway, and then maybe looking like that will give me a bit more inspiration. Like, I have found in the past sometimes the way I dress does change the way I feel, and lately I'm always wearing like lazy clothes. So maybe that's helping me feel more lazy, and maybe that's not what I want. So yeah, maybe I go cyber and go um for that whole musical direction and refocus on that, and remove the obstacles stopping me from doing stuff. But yeah, no, these are just thoughts. And my godmother does seem pretty keen on me at least cutting my hair. And if Cyberlocks is what I need to finally feel okay with cutting my hair and dealing with the split ends and the whole mess that this is, and I mean, oh my god, hair this long and you're trying to pull it out of the drain when it's fallen in there. Oh my god, it's terrible, and all the hair that just goes everywhere. Long hair is overrated, guys. This is the longest I think my hair has ever been, and it's not worth it. Um, but yeah, no, my godmother's like, maybe cut it. We could color it even, and then chuck some cyberlocks when I go out. It's an option, but like I said, this is one of these things that I've only thought about today. It may be a total ant farm, and if any of you guys remember the Grays family, when we talk about ant farms, we mean like things like that seem really great, but then you get them and you're kind of like, ah, it's a bit of a gimmick. It's something you get over quickly. Like you hype it up and then you're like, oh, a bit like an ant farm. How cool would it be to have an ant farm? And then you get it and the ants kind of just like doing their thing and you're like, shit, eh? Um, One day I need to get one of my relatives on camera to explain to you guys the true story of the ant farm, but it's one of those grey family slang things that I think, yeah, I'm just worried that the whole Cyberlocks thing will be an ant farm, and then when I get them, I won't actually do the solo project. I won't actually wear them that much. Yeah, but it's an interesting thought. It's an idea. Let me know what you think. Happy birthday to me and all my problems. Thank you everyone for your wishes, I guess. I mean, it's been hard to be happy, like happy birthday. But I've done my best to like do that on Instagram. Instagram is where I'm the most fake. Because it's Instagram, it just encourages that, and it's too hard to have an intelligent conversation with most people there. But anyway, is this video getting too long? I don't know if this is going to cut off at 30 minutes, but yeah, no, thanks for the support, I guess. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. Yeah, thanks for the support. Like, comment, share, subscribe, notification bell, send me money, listen to my music projects. I think we're done.